All right, so I'm just gonna dive right in, guys, because this is getting way out of hand. You know, you have some Sony ponies, Sony fanboys defending everything old Jim Ryan over there at Sony's doing, and you do realize if you ride for this guy, you do have some Sony fans that ride for him, that rise or die for Sony as a company. And if Sony looks bad, that makes the Sony fanboys look bad as well. So if Sony's looking weak and like a little crybaby right now, the Sony ponies and Sony fanboys are looking weak because Nintendo is just kind of sitting back in the cut laughing at Sony like, bro, what are you doing? You are demolishing and tarnishing. You're just demolishing the PlayStation brand right now. Like, looking this weak right now. You're crying. A grown man is up there at Sony crying like a baby about an exclusive that's coming over to Xbox Game Pass platform, like ecosystem, and they don't like it. They don't want it. They want to stop. They want to cancel. He's going to Brazil to the board complaining, please stop the Call of Duty Activision deal. He's going over here to the UK. Please stop the Call of Duty Activision deal. Now that's just one topic right there, right? Not only including if they spent, let's flip the script for 1 second. If Sony spent $70 billion on Call of Duty Activision deal, right? Let's just say if they had the same amount of money as Microsoft Xbox had, right? Do you think they would not make that Call of Duty exclusive to only PlayStation and maybe PC? Mostly PlayStation ecosystem. So you gotta think like, okay, we already know Sony would do the same thing. Hell, they're already locking down games that don't even belong to them. That's not even their own IP. Look at Spider-Man. They locked that down from Xbox players. Xbox players will never probably see Spider-Man again. If they see Spider-Man, it would be a miracle. It will be by force, not by choice. I think it will be if Marvel steps in and say, hey man, the developers are complaining, they want more money, kind of like with the whole MLB, the show came to Game Pass. That will have to be like something like that. The head person in charge of Marvel will have to step in and say, hey, look, we're gonna need Spider-Man on Game Pass. You know, I don't think, you know, Phil Spencer and Xbox and the boys, I don't think they would take it that far to force Sony hand like that, but maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if Sony spent $70 billion, right? And I'm gonna jump into The Last of Us in a little bit, or why I feel like that game was a total ripoff for some people. If they spent $70 billion, you don't think that Sony would make Call of Duty exclusive to PlayStation? Period. Point blank period. Those Decepticons don't care about nobody but money. That's all I keep hearing in these gaming streets. Lion Ryan. I gotta call him by his real name now. It's not Jim Ryan. It's Jim Lion Ryan. I gotta remember that. You know, and all the fanboys that's rocking with him to the end. It's okay to like PlayStation as a brand, but I really hope you don't agree with what Sony CEO President Jim Ryan is doing right now. I hope you guys, if you have your own business or anything, do not follow behind him. How he is running his business, it will not work. In many industries, like the gaming community, maybe because we still have foolish fanboys that they're gonna support him. You know, they're not worrying about the actual, they're saying that, okay, we want to support the gaming creators, but how are you supporting the gaming creators if you're locking down exclusive games to only PlayStation? And then later on, when it flops, you send them over to PC. Like, okay, what kind of strategy is that? They don't even have a main strategy right now at Sony. So what are you following behind, little Sony ponies? Who are you? Who's leading you? I mean, it don't make any sense. What kind of guidance is that to show your fan base that being greedy is okay? It's okay to be greedy and step on people that's less fortunate than you. And that's what Sony's showing all their diehard fans, the ones that just love, I'm talking about bro, they love Sony with a passion. They're not even thinking about PlayStation like the actual brand. They're only thinking about Sony, the person that's running the show. Because everything I've been seeing, they've been repeating everything he's been saying. So that's bad leadership. That's misguidance up there at the front office with Jim Ryan. They're repeating everything. Oh, it's okay. Oh, you guys are, that's wrong if you make Call of Duty is an exclusive to Game Pass in 3 years, and that's not right. And do you think if they pay $70 billion, they're not gonna make it exclusive to PlayStation? Eventually, the next year, it would have, soon as this deal would have been gone through, Sony would have signed off on it. What would it take, about a year or two to go through the deal, right? Soon as that deal goes through, that following next year, it would have been exclusive only to PlayStation and maybe now PC. That's a huge maybe, really huge maybe, because that's a big market as well. You don't really want to pull too much stuff off of PC. So it will be on PS4, PS5, and maybe PC. Xbox would no longer have Call of Duty. And that's the point I wanted to make with that, because it's too much back and forth and nobody's really just putting a nail in the coffin and saying what it really is. What's the real problem here? The real problem is we as fans, as gamers, a casual gamer, the messenger, the one that's kind of like the referee in the middle, and I can kind of see what's going on. See, I don't choose sides, so I can kind of see what's going on. I just stand back and just watch Xbox and PlayStation fight it out, and you can just kind of stand back and just referee and kind of see where the problem is. Now, if you're a fanboy, you're not going to see it because you're trying to be in the middle of the fight with Sony and defend them, and everything that you say and do, everything that Jim Ryan says and does, it trickles down to all of his little fanboys and Sony ponies, all of the Sony fanboys over there. It's a group, a toxic group over there to the left with Sony, and then you have the Xbox community to the right, and they're trying to say, so you don't think Sony would do the same thing? I'm just saying, bro, you really, in your heart, you truly believe they would leave it on Xbox for 3 years. As soon as that deal would go through, it would be exclusive. Whether it's a year, 2, 3 years, however long it takes to go through. That following year, maybe even the same year, they may just decide to no, we don't even want to bring it. Maybe in 1 year, they won't even bring it over to Xbox. They would stop that. They would do anything in their power. That's what they have built PlayStation as, to be an exclusive console, and Xbox is a multiplayer console. It's built for live. Like, that's why. How do you think Xbox Live started? That's where the bread and butter is. That is the recipe to Microsoft Xbox multiplayer games. That's why Game Pass works so good with Call of Duty. You wouldn't want to see them make a Last of Us, like pretty much spend $70 billion on the Last of Us and make it exclusive. That wouldn't make any sense, because you're not gonna make that much money back off of that game. You're not gonna make all that back on just one console, and probably PC. You would spend something like that. You would spend that amount on a big franchise like Activision Blizzard deal and Call of Duty. That's worth it, and it fits the console so well. So, and Sony knows that, and they don't want Call of Duty to leave, but they have tens of 20 exclusive already locked down on PlayStation, bro. How many more games do Jim Ryan want to lock down, and IPs that he don't even own, like Spider-Man, Wolverine, Final Fantasy? They don't even want to bring those up. Whenever you talk to Sony fanboys and you bring up all of their exclusives that they lock down from every other console and platform like Nintendo, PC, and Xbox, guess what? They don't want to hear it. They just brush it under the rug. Guess what? They get real defensive and say, oh, well, what about what Xbox did? Xbox have faced lawsuits, and Xbox tried to lock down exclusives from PlayStation, and da-da-da-da-da. They defend everything, bro. It's like a wall. They have a wall up. They are so sensitive and emotional. You cannot talk to a Sony fanboy. It's like talking to somebody that's just slow. It's like no matter what you say to them, they're not going to get it. It's like, bro, you're acting real slow right now. You cannot be following behind Jim Ryan thinking that's cool what he's over there doing. He's actually hurting you guys, the fanboys. And it's sad to say he's hurting the fans as well. That's just a casual gamer as well, by jacking the price up on PS5, jacking the price up on the games as well. $70 price tag. I'm just saying, it's not cool over there at Sony what he's doing, and they don't even see nothing wrong with it. Jim Ryan have brainwashed the whole entire fan base to think that what he's doing is justified as long as he say inflation. Oh, we're in a time of crisis. Oh, everything is going up. The cost of living is going up. Everything is more to make the PlayStation. It's more to do this. It's more for the developers and the game creators. That's all you have to say. Now he was waiting to have an excuse to jack the price up on PS5 the whole entire year. And guess what? Inflation gave it to him. He was waiting. He was in the cut. He was like, man, how can I be a little more greedier? The front office, the bigger boss of bosses over there at Sony, they say I need to hype things up a little more. I need to bring in a little more revenue because we have a lot of lawsuits coming in over here at Sony. So we need to rip off some of our own fan base a little bit more. So I know, let's jack the price up on the console. Why would you even think that would be a good idea to do that? And then you already jacked the price up on the $70 games. That's just pure greed, bro. And I've seen all the blogs and vloggers and content creators, like 99% of them all said the same thing. It's not right, bro, what they did. Now jumping over to The Last of Us, a lot of people do not feel like it was worth that $70 price tag. It's not. It's a remake, remaster, and they're double dipping, and then they're trying to do a little cash grab later on with PC. So they're going. So whenever the game doesn't hit the benchmarks on PlayStation, and I think it's just a PS5 game as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even think it came to PS4. So it's going to come to PS5 and PC. So that game is not even going to make probably near as much as they wanted to make, because they're pretty much doing PS4 gamers wrong as well. You know, and you guys already know how I feel about that. I don't think no one should be left behind with 100+ million, you know, people. You can't. How can you leave 100+ million people behind because you want to force them into buying a PS5 that you can't even make enough of? How do you believe in generations and all your games are going to PC? You're not just all out. If you were all out focused on PS5, trust me, you would have enough PS5s out here for everybody. You would find a way. Trust me. Jim Ryan at Sony would find a way to make sure there's a PS5 in every household that want one. And The Last of Us was just a quickie. It's just a quick little cash grab to hold you guys over to God of War drop. And whenever God of War comes out for about 3 to 6 months, they're going to announce Spider-Man probably whenever that's going to drop. And whenever that gets old, then they're going to announce Wolverine whenever that's going to come out and drop. You know, and then by the way, on The Last of Us, they have been having issues with returns or something, with games being broken or delivered to people. Now, I heard this in these gaming streets. Now, I don't know who may have had a broken Last of Us remake, remaster, whatever, rebuild game, but that was not cool. When I heard that story, I felt bad for for whoever went out their way to buy this for their PS5. Big shout out, matter of fact, big shout out to everybody that does have a PS5, because I know how hard it is out here to get one. You know, it's like a needle in a haystack right now, and those Decepticons at Sony just don't care. So that's why I like to try to bring that pretty much that value to your PCs and get into the ecosystem. So guys, if you want to play some I don't even know if it's PS5 games at this point. I'm guessing PS4 games, because from what everybody's saying, that every game that's on there is capable of running on PS4, but they just make it exclusive to PS5 because they want to make it feel premium and boost the quality and the hype. So stuff like Forspoken won't come on PS4. But if you want to get in the PlayStation ecosystem, guys, make sure you smash that description down there, and you pretty much can sign up for PlayStation Plus Premium if you have a PC only if you have a PC or a laptop. and hook your Ethernet cables up so you can have a pretty strong connection, because these are live screen games for most of them. So if you want to hop into that PlayStation ecosystem, which is very nice, because you can play Miles Morales Spider-Man on there. You can play Ghost of Tsushima's, The Last of Us. I think it was the first ones that was on like PS4, but they're still all the same game, bro. That's another big thing. It's still the same game. Come on now, you're gonna charge $70 for it. But you guys, you get what I'm saying. You can jump into the PlayStation ecosystem right now as we're talking if you have a PC. That's the closest way I can get most gamers to a PlayStation 5, you know, kind of experience right now, because it's not enough to go around. It's just not enough to go around. But if you have a PC, you're already halfway there. So thank goodness you found me, because they're not even promoting this. So you can download the PlayStation app right now, PlayStation Plus Premium, by clicking the link in the description. And if you want to jump into the Microsoft Xbox Game Pass Ultimate only on PC, click the link in the description as well, and you guys can hop into that Xbox ecosystem. And I think I'm gonna leave it right there, guys, and we're gonna jump into another topic later on. That was just something on my mind. So make sure you guys smash that like, that subscribe button, click that notification bell, guys, so you can be notified on all of the new latest and greatest news off in these gaming streets. Thank you and peace.